Hi, I'm Cameron Cheats with Queerty. Wow, I can't talk. I'm overcome with emotion. Hello, how's it going?
Hi.
Good to see you.
Great to see everybody. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Well, I feel like season two is always such a fun, sweet spot because, we know the characters, we know their dynamics, but now we get to, well, one, get way more jokes. But I think it's just always a joy to learn more about these characters we've grown to love. And so with that in mind, I'm curious for each of you. Michaela Jaé, I'd love to start with you to hear a little bit about like what was your favorite part of Sophia to explore this time around in these new episodes?
I loved seeing Sophia in second season squirm a little bit. We don't get to see her be anxious or nervous when diving into something, diving into territories that are uncharted, which is in a relationship, a loving relationship at that. So I just love to see how she figures it out. I love to see that there is a person in her space who's helping her figure it out, a group of people who are helping her figure it out. There's one scene that's specific to me where all of the office members are there and we're having a meeting and Sophia shows up late and clearly she had a good little night or whatever and comes in total different clothes and they're like, where were you? And she's forced to explain herself because she's someone who is in a high position there and she couldn't do it until they got it out of her. So I love all of these kind of growing aspects of her finding refuge in the team, her trying to find refuge in her love interest and Molly, all of it. It's a really good journey to see her go through.
I was really excited to explore Molly's introspection and trying to get into wellness because I knew that that could get very big and grand, but I also, like you said, I love seeing Molly through the relationships that she is developing. And so through each member of the Wells Foundation, I think that's been a nice way to look at Molly and see how she's growing and see how she's investing in herself and surprising herself.
There's truly nothing better than the dynamic between Molly and Nicholas. Like the way you two play off of each other. Oh, fantastic to see. Joel, for you and Nicholas in these new episodes, what was exciting for you to dive into?
In season one, like we get a very clear picture of this very like closed off, sort of prickly guy, and there's little hints dropped in season one about his very mysterious upbringing. And I think getting to sort of see that play out in season two and really get a sense of why he is this sort of damaged person was really fun and really gratifying to get to play because I think like, the more dimensions we get to add, I think it's not only more like challenging and satisfying as a performer, but it's just fun. You get to be funnier. You get to find new, aspects to, the game of Nicholas. And that was a lot of fun this season.
Let's throw this now to Ron for you and Howard. Like, what were you excited to really dive into in terms of his story this season? Like what we haven't seen before?
I was really happy to dive into seeing Howard's relationship outside of just Howard and Joel's character. I think a lot of my last season was focused on building that relationship, which I really enjoyed. But I never knew how myself and Michaela interacted one-on-one or myself and Nat. And to see that this season and have a different but similar chemistry with each one of them kind of let me understand more like Howard's place in this office is kind of like the glue guy where he's can float around and be a friend to everyone. And at the same time, this is a season where we get to see Howard focus on himself, what his passions are, what he wants to do, what he wants to become as he gets older and now doesn't have a relationship and doesn't have as much time to focus on other people and has time to focus on himself. And so for me, I think doing that and be able to show my passion with the pro wrestling stuff was the thing I was very excited about.
I mean, I would just say it's always fun. Like you said, a second season, you get to really delve into these characters a little bit more. And since you are introduced them, you now get to really get into the sort of nitty gritty. And I think there are so many flaws of Arthur that are just very fun to play. And I think he is so trying to put himself out there and to sort of be more vulnerable. And he's getting a lot of great advice from his coworkers on sort of how he can move forward in his life. And obviously there's a lot of growing pains that come with that and a lot of bad fashion choices that come with that. But I think he's it was just fun to sort of show his vulnerability and then ultimately find some joy, from the choices that he made, albeit sort of hampered a little bit by his, never-ending love for someone else.
Not to put you on the spot, Joel, but I love the Twitter search, and I did see that in 2012.
Oh my God.
You have a tweet.
It's not 2012, Cameron, you can't. Okay, keep going.
We'll keep going. You have a tweet from 2012.
I'm listening.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to love this. It says, I never wanted to be a comedian more than when the camera finds Maya Rudolph in the back of that kitchen perched on the counter, #SNL.
What?
It's one of your intros. It's one of your intros in the SNL intro when you're in, it's the one where you're going through the hotel and you're sitting on the counter. And I remember that. I actually it's so weird that you bring that up because I can remember thinking that. And
how old were you?
It was 2012.
5.
So
you were 5.
I was in my 20s at this point. I was in my 20s. And
You wanted to be up there on that counter?
I wanted to be up there on that counter.
Oh, that's such a compliment. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, and my thing I was doing in that moment was a little homage to Gilda Radner because she eats the apple at the beginning of early days of SNL. So I was channeling her because I wanted to be her.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this elsewhere, but getting to do this show, especially with Maya, is a Make-A-Wish moment for me. And it's just it really is. And
He's okay.
I remember coming to set the first day and being oh God, if she sucks, that will unravel me. And I am so relieved to tell the world that she doesn't. And she's so lovely and warm. And this is the thing that I think people need to know about Maya Rudolph is that she is such a good mom. It's not a 5 nanny situation. She is doing the legwork of going to dance class and the dance competitions and sick
all
mom
Mother's
duty.
Day weekend at the LAX Hilton. It's so up. Couldn't they have picked a different weekend?
Yeah, what
that's disrespectful.
Mother's Day
Really
weekend and on Fridays.
Yeah.
Children have school.
Yeah.
Children have school. This is really a dream come true. I've never heard Joel say this before. He was obviously keeping it from me, but I'm so touched. That's a big deal.
Very, very sweet.
And I think that inspiration matters, and I think inspiration is everything. And we all get where we are because we're inspired by people. Because I know for me, performances have inspired me, or actors or performers have inspired me, and so I think, I want to be that, or I want to do that. And to hear that about yourself is such a compliment, because you never think that you're going to be the one to sit there on the kitchen counter and inspire somebody. Joel.
Aww. And for you to talk about Gilda, and we're just connecting these thoughts, and you see that impact. That's beautiful. With my last minute, I want to throw one more question to you, Michaela Jaé. I think there are such great, well-rounded, complex queer characters on this series, and that's such a joy to watch. But I think that there's also just such a queer sensibility sort of pervading what the show is. And I wondered if you could talk a little bit about why you think that this show sort of has such an appeal to queer audiences.
I think it has an appeal to queer audiences because, if you look at the scope of the characters on this show, aside from me even not possibly being a queer character on the show and Joel being a very prominent queer character on the show, all of us are beautiful and eccentric and different. The characters are all different. And I think so many people who are part of the queer community can understand that. Being different, but also making a way for yourself, and also just standing firm in who you are and making decisions and learning from those decisions. And I think that's helpful to a lot of people who are going to be watching this, who can relate to every last one of these character stories and not just mine alone. And just to be quite clear, I'm not a cis or a trans woman on this show. I encompass everything regarding any kind of woman who's in this walk of life, right? And if I can reach out to all of those kind of little girls out there, then I'm doing my job. And more than anything, I think everyone else is doing their job if we can relate to not just the LGBTQI community, but any group of individual out there, any community.
Well, thank you for letting me dig up old tweets.
That could have gone a much different way.
I know.
I really thought this was going in a different direction.
I know.
Gotcha journalism at its finest.
Right. Well, that's my time. I really, really appreciate it. Congrats on season 2. Excited for everyone to see it. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Thank you.